Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and we are in the designer for From the Depths again. And little design before we get it back into the campaign. And after our little meet-up with the White Flayers last campaign episode, I decided that, I realised I need some air superiority. Now obviously we've got missile boats which can take things that are flying in the air, but there was an interesting ship they had, the Arrow, which I thought was an interesting ship to try and take out. It was quite difficult. It's not impossible with missiles. Same with the Squirrel. So what I was thinking is an air superiority fighter, so that I could have in the group. Starts in the water, either the Turtle Fleet or in the Avian Fleet, and specifically goes after fast, high-flying aerial targets, and has a few missile weapons of its own to use against them. So yeah, it'll have some missiles which are to be fast, very agile, short range. Some longer missiles which are potentially just got heavier damage, longer range, and then potentially some cannons at short range. So we're going to put 3 missile systems into one plane. Don't know how that will work exactly. Could be interesting. Right, so let's start with the basics. Now some of the basics of this will be, let's see, if I go into the right mode, there we go, and we're going to do new vehicle. New object, a new vehicle. Come over here and let's lay the first block. First block is laid. Okay, so now I'm going to base this sort of on the flying rays which I already have in game. The flying rays were based upon Escape Ray, which was a sort of submarine, an original turtle submarine. Now what that means is I'm going to go for wide. That's also similar to the what's the other one I've got? The one I just built. Ah, my brain has decided to fail me. The Sea Skewer, that's the one. The Sea Skewer. That's also a long wide ship. So we're going to go for a wide. Now I'm using metal at first, and I just forgot to put the mirror line on, just as a base. Okay, we're going to leave it there. Now the rest of the ship. This is just the core, the hull and the centre part from underneath, so that any shots from underneath will have to go through at least a little bit of metal. But that's going to be it. After this point, I think everything will roughly be alloy, just on this ship after now. But what we're going to do is on this base is sort out the weapon systems. Now what I'm going to start with, so everything else now just on metal, on blocks, etc. Just as you can see the difference here, that a metal block has an armor of 10, health of 200 for each block, which means those metal beams have a 1200 health, which is pretty good, but a weight of 1.6. Oops, if I go back here, your basic metal block is a weight of 0.4. Your light alloy blocks, you can see the difference there, 0.4 to 0.005. You know, an alloy beam is 8 times lighter, basically. The armor's 7, so it's not too bad, but and the health is about half, 750. So yeah, it's okay, but it's not a metal beam. You know, the metal beam is better. So we'll just put some more in. I don't know how far I'm going to have to go back here, so we'll just. Whoops! I should have put the mirror line in. Just having a few, what shall we say, issues with the mouse today, or my fingers and my hands. Oh no, my hands have let me down. So what I'm thinking is we'll do, I'm thinking 2 missile systems. The heavy missile system might be just underneath here on the outside. If it gets taken out and damaged, that's it. It's going to be fire a couple of long range shots, then after that it's going to be in close range. The close range shots will possibly fire from inside, maybe on these lines here, and then in this center part we've got the main cannon area. So in actual fact I might start, let's see, now I might have the cannon in this center section here, and then it shoots out of the front, out the center. So since it's a key part of our system, we'll build that first. Actually, we'll go to the custom cannons. Right, so we're going to need a 6-way connector. Now we're just gonna, we could put it slung underneath. Get rid of that block. So it's underneath here, but I'm thinking of it having it firing through the center. So let's have a go at this. If we put a couple of 6-way connectors and a firing piece as a starting point. Now let's think about this gun. We want it to have, we're not worried about elevation actually here. I'm going to try this without an elevation barrel. It's going to be fairly much very far forward firing accurate gun. So let's just try 4 of them and then 4 barrels and high rate of fire. Is that going to be too much? It's still at 45, 45, so that's fine. I mean, I'm only looking at a 30-degree angle, a cone, 30-degree cone. 15-degree cone, just sticking out at the front there. So that'd go 15. It will cut through everything. 15 degrees either way on that. Okay, that's not bad. If I go one more, how does that give us? 11-degree, accuracy 1.1. Okay, well we can work with that. We can work with that maybe. Just a little bit of sloping on the front here. Maybe it could come forward a little bit actually, because once I've put some slopes up here, if we put the slopes in, we'll just go for like obviously I should put these on afterwards, but you know, we're going to have some sloping here. There we go. So and then we'll put some alloy beam in there to simulate the armor on the front. Might change those actually, although it's not theoretically as efficient. I might just put a couple of those there instead. Fill it out with those, so it's just pointing out of the front by 1 block, and that's on a what angle? And a 10-degree, so that's pretty down small area. Okay, I'll go with that. If need be, we can take 1 barrel off and we'll see how that goes from there. Okay, right, now we need to think about the ammo and other parts to it. Now we don't want to go too high here because we're keeping this thin idea. So at the front I would like to keep relatively thin if possible. Not be possible totally. And we've got to leave room for the missile system. Now we can go backwards. We haven't got to go forwards with the gun. There's nothing that says, say, all of our parts of the gun have to be in front of it. We'll put a couple up here. There. We'll see how many. We might put the loaders on the top, maybe, or we can put them just on one side. So let's just put loaders here and see what sort of thing we get. Okay, that would be 1 forward and 1 up. I like that, forward and up. And here, side and up. I like using the auto loaders on manual personally. Doesn't really matter too much, but I like to use the manual. I can define where they're going to go. So let's just see what's that fire. That's 1.27. Still not very impressive. Let's put some there. Where are we up to? 0.71. 0.4. Okay, we will have to go to the sides. It doesn't matter. We can make this wide. 0.23. 0.13. Okay, 0.13. Okay, not unhappy with that. Now I'll make these some armor piercing. So that's a load of armor piercing. So, because we're going to be up against 7.7. Now we're going to be up against, let's say, ships with alloy blocks, which means they're going to have an armor value of 7. So an AP of 7. So having a AP there of 7.7 obviously means we're going to penetrate them, in theory, he says. Maybe, possibly. So that's good. What we'll do is we'll just make that a little bit better. We'll put some more 6-way connectors here. Now this is going to be slightly long, this ship, but hey ho. But we've got width. We're going to make this wide. 8.7. Okay, that's good. That's good for the moment for that gun. So yeah, okay, I like that. We will put some. I'm a bit worried about getting damage here. If we get hit on the side, I think we're going to have to not worry too much and make this too protected. If we get hit on the side, we're going to blow up. I think we just have to go with that. That's just one of those risks we're going to have to take. Now, okay, the other part of this, we're going to need to control this, obviously. So we've got no turret, so it's going to have to be the AI can go here, local weapon controller. There we go. Now we will have to put a failsafe on this, because if this gets damaged, the gun will be firing effectively inside. So it can only fire when the gun is at this full length. If the gun is less than that, then it'll have to stop firing. That's a pity, but that's the way these things go. We'll put a wireless receiver on here, and we'll armour this up with alloy blocks. Light alloy blocks, just to, I don't want it if it's words, Derek, the words, Derek, they are things that come out of your mouth when you are speaking. Use them. The danger point on this is getting hit straight from the front. Effectively, this is accessible all the way through. So if you get hit straight in the front, good part about this is I believe the barrels are relatively armoured. They've got an armour of 5. Some of actually the motor drivens have 10. There is a it's a pity I can't put that on the front. See, that would be that'd be weird. I don't think that'd work though. I think that's going to somehow muck around with it. But it's in there. It's under, gauge increases there. But some of these barrels have an armour of 10. Elevation barrel, as an example, has an armour of 10, 150 health. So theoretically, let's just have a look. Which one's got the best armour value? 5, 5, 10. Motor driven barrel. Putting that on the end would give me a bit of armour protection. Straight in the front. Let's just see what that did to the thing. So I was giving us a 15. 8 point. Okay. So if I want to increase it, I can put some of those on the front. Reload time's still the same. Accuracy is even better. Oh, okay. Put a motor driven on the front. There we go. That's, and it gives us that little extra 10 armour straight down the centre. The rest of it's 5. But okay, getting back to where I was, you've got, if you start getting hit straight down that centre, basically everything goes back to the gun and they start hitting them. There's very little you can armour on this. Now we are actually, I'm going to leave those blocks, but I think I'm going to put alloy beams behind here, because that being said, we want to make sure that if they don't get through there. There we go. So our gun area is going to be as armoured as we can. I should, yeah. And then we're going to have our missiles along the side here. 2 missiles. I think that will fit in. We might just put them just on that there, and then have the controller and 6-way connectors and everything on the inside of it. 2 separate missile systems. Yeah. Okay. So that's the gun sorted. Should be 15-degree cone, firing out at significant rate, 0.1. We haven't given it much ammo at the moment. That might be an area we need to work so that it can fire for a little longer. So let's just put those there, and we're just going to put some, because you don't want to rely on necessarily ammo boxes that are in the rest of the vessel. That will, just by putting those ammo boxes, although they are high explosive, they are effectively an ammo box, but specifically for this gun. So okay, that's a big ass gun now. It's only too high, which is good. We wanted to keep the size down, but that's got a good rate of fire and good armor piercing. So that's fine. Now, okay, let's have a look at the missiles. So we're going to have missiles firing through the front, and yeah, we'll put them just on the outside of the gun. So we'll have a look at those next. Now, I'll put the missile, the line on, because I've forgotten the mirror line for most of that building, which was just bad of me. Now let's think. Now this is going to be. We'll go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. Put a 6-way connector in. And I'm not going to worry about stagger. I would need friend and foe. So let's see if we can fit everything in here. Friend and foe there, and missile controller in here, and then we would put the local weapon controller here. Now these are going to be infrared. So again, friend and foe. Where are we? Where are we? Oh, wait a minute, where's my friend and foe? Friend and foe's on here. Right, we'll see if we can put them facing downwards like that. There we go. That's nice and tight. Don't have to worry about fail safe, I don't think, on here. Now, the bit where fail safes are beneficial on missile systems is when you've got your missile blocks. Let's just put my missile blocks in just to show you what I'm talking about. Where are we? Where are we? Missile blocks. When you take damage to a missile system, say here, and let's say that one there got destroyed. Actually, that wasn't right. That one there got destroyed, or hasn't been repaired yet, and this missile is ready to fire. Now, what happens is this missile hits that block. Now, although we've got a 2-second armor, it just rattles around there until it goes boom, which means that everything inside here is now blown up by that missile. Having the fail-safe on this weapon means that unless this is fully repaired, it won't fire. So there's a great benefit of having fail-safes on missile systems which are under repair. So you know, now I'm not going to do this on big missile groups, and this is something I should think about on something like the missile destroyer. There is a good and bad bit here, which I'll go through in a second. But on big missile systems, an area where you've got, let's say you've got 16 missiles in a group, it only takes one of them to be damaged in this fashion and hits here, and it takes out all 16 of your missiles. What you want it to do is to say, okay, I'm not going to fire that missile, go on to the next one until that is repaired properly. So fail-safes would be of great benefit in that particular environment. There is one bad point about fail-safes at the moment. They detect your own shields as something in the way. I don't know if that'll be enhanced, but that is I don't know if it's a bug, but it's certainly something which is annoying, because if I was to now put shields on the front of this ship, these wouldn't ever fire, because it will say, oh, you know, if I put a fail-safe on there, because it will say, oh, okay, you know, there's a shield in the way. And also with the gun would have to point out, I'm not sure about the gun actually, I think the gun might have to point out of the shield, otherwise the shield, it will detect it as, oh, okay, there's a shield in the way, I won't fire. Haven't tried it with, I know that is the case with missiles, haven't tried it with guns, but I'm not going to try it now. I might, if it does happen, I might put it up on the bug reports, see if Nick will do anything about it. Or even knows about it. Might not have even noticed, he might have not noticed that with things. I've noticed it in a few ships. The, what was the one we did? The missile, cruiser we did recently with the opening vents. I was noticing at the times the vents would open. That's the reason I had to take the fail safes off. The covers would open up and it still wouldn't fire because there was a shield above them. Something I did do on another ship is I had the shield running halfway through the missiles, so the shield was actually here. It wasn't coming above it, it was actually halfway through the first level, so it wouldn't shoot if it was damaged on this first level, which also sort of worked. I am digressing about bugs in the game, so let me shut up. Right, let's go and design this missile. Now we want high speed, then a couple of fins to make it turn well, a fuel tank at the moment. Now okay, now I'm going to have this, I'm not going to worry about a one turn on this. I only want this to fire when the target is straight in front, so we'll put some limitations on the firing. Okay, one fuel tank at the moment. Target precision or augmented. I'm going to go for target precision. Let's put another fuel tank in there. We'll put another target precision in there. Then we can go potentially. I'm split between a proximity fuse and then put an explosive in there. So it's just this is going to be doing surface damage, or because if I put a proximity fuse and then put fragmentation, if it's the corner proximity that blows off, then the fragments will just go straight forward. So an explosive warhead's got more chance of doing damage on a and taking something off on the surface, so that will blow up wings, blow up engines, that sort of thing, rather than doing a critical kill. The critical kill shot I think will come from the gun, so that's good. Now that's going to be what we'll do is put that one fires just about immediately, and then this one fires 2 seconds later, and then 2 fins, that's good. Fuel tank, so 2 fins with fuel. I think that might get it out to about 500. We'll test what speed we get out of these missiles. What I can, I've got a split between turning quickly onto the target is must be my priority here, in my view, or should we? And the fuel is so that it's going to do one pass. It's going to be quickly get to the enemy as quickly as possible, turn onto it, attack it, move on, basically. If it gets past, turning around for a second pass is unlikely, so I don't need much fuel. Okay, so let's do that. Now we can change this one over here a little bit differently, possibly, but short range thruster 0.1, so it's almost firing straight away. There's hardly any difference really on that. Firing a little bit once it's out of the tube and aimed itself a little bit. I always like putting the fins at the back myself. Don't know if it makes a difference. Fuel tank. Let's get target precision and the proximity fuse, and then okay, let's do one as a fragmentation. But this proximity fuse is about 45 degrees. I reckon I need about a 90-degree warhead to ensure. So this one will go off in a nice 90-degree. Now I don't know if it'll be a frag cone is 90 degrees. So that's 45 degrees each way, or is that not? Well, we'll say it like that. So this will be, if it detects something, this will just take out lots of little things. So yeah, combination. If one's explosive, one's frag, why not? Cover our bases. Now we have got, I've left purposefully one extra block. If we find this missile is not enough, needs a bit more, we can put something else in here and modify it a little bit, and see what we can do. Okay, so I think that's there. Now we can block in this section here as cover. Come on, armor that up. There we go. And a blocks. Where are we? Alloy block. Put one there. Now I'm going to leave a gap there. Never know. Might need that fail safe or something in there later. The sides. Now, are we wide? Are we wide? Are we wide enough? We're now going to be looking at AI and engines, I think. Where am I going to sit? I don't mind sitting at the back. I don't have to sit at the front of the ship. Maybe just up behind this engine. maybe the AI is going to be about here. Everyone puts the AI in the centre, you know. Or I could actually put myself just above this gun barrel for myself, so I'm near the front. But the AI can be somewhere else. Could put AI on every gun instead of putting these. Every gun has its own AI block. But I do need target prioritization. So what we might do, let's say AI is going to go here for the moment. AI mainframe. There we go. And left and right. And then we're going to need an aerial card. I'll take out the mirror block off for a second. And then we need a target prioritization. There we go. We'll worry about aim point selection. So we'll worry about that later. Oh, need a transmitter. Where's my transmitters? There we go. So we'll just set these up quickly. We won't worry about the aerial there at the moment. We'll have to set that up later. So size is not important. Okay, there's 0, set all to 0. Let's work this out. So size, we would go for the largest one, but not by much. Okay, let's see. Priorities, speed. The faster the craft, the more chance of going for it. Altitude, the higher the target, the more chance of going for it. So they're quite high. So we want high altitude, fast targets by value. Right, those with engines, taking out engines is our priority. We want to slow any high flying targets so that they are killable then by the slower missiles from the guns on the thing. These are interceptors or superiority. They just make things in the air fall to the sea so other guns can take it out. So that's engine and propulsion. Actually, engines isn't as important, so let's put that down to there. Propulsions, each of the engines that are in it are important. AI, yeah, obviously, you know, AI is important. If it's got an AI, it should prioritize it. Weapons, not really worried about that. Okay, we've got that. Ranges, not worried about range. Range does not have a value. This is going to fly fast, so it doesn't matter how far. So that's I think that's a good aerial superiority group. Means it won't prioritize ship vehicles. We'll set up this here, although we're well away from doing this, but we can go through some various bits and pieces. Right, angle for deviation. Now, because of that gun, we need to keep this fairly tight, flying towards the target. So we're going to have this to be constantly turning a little bit, trying to aim at the target, very much like a missile. So 1 degree. I might set that at 2. Actually, 2 should be perfectly okay. Rolling turns. Now we will roll, but we don't like rolling too much. But we'll set that 45 degrees. We want it to turn in quickly, so we will do. I don't like 100. We'll set an 80-degree roll as the maximum roll. Cruising altitudes. This obviously space starts at 500. You can notice here it goes up to 1800. That's for your space vessels, which we don't have at this moment. So let's take this down to there's space. Now this is going to be a high flying ship. Don't want it at that because it'll bounce too high and it'll go into space and then lose all what's the right word? Ability to maneuver. So we're setting that at 400. And minimum altitude, we don't want it to dive down too much. We want it to just come down a little bit. So 350, and try with 375. So if it goes down to 375 on its attack runs, it'll come back up again. So it'll be constantly bobbling around the 375. I want to keep it at the 400 meter mark. It dives in, fires its missiles, has a shoot, flies out again. We might change that to 350. I think most of its targets it's going to be go for high flight. We don't want it down near the sea. If it gets down near the sea, the enemy sea vessels will chew this plane up. So we don't want to muck around with that. Attack runs. Now this is the attack runs as it's coming in. So we want to start the attack run. Let's say the front missiles, the rear missiles now have a long range, so they have a 1 turn. They're going to be firing at just about, we're going to try and set them to be around the 700 meter mark. The 2 internal ones and the guns are going to be roughly around the 500, maybe 450. So we want them, let's say they're going to be about 400. So 500, it starts turning in and starts aiming at the target. At what range does it stop aiming at the target and does a turnaround? I think about 100 meters. That's actually fairly close. It's going to get close with that gun, which is fine. It's going to come in for a close range gun attack. 100 meters. We could make that less, actually. We'll see how it goes. Attack run. I don't mind if it flies away and comes out. I would like it to fly away and come back in again. Constantly trying to keep its guns in range. We'll see how this goes on that one there. We might have to actually artificially make these a little higher so it flies well away from the target, turns around, comes back on a straight course. If it's constantly flying at a broadside to a target, that's no good because its guns are all forward facing. So if it's flying in a circle broadside, it will not be able to fire at the target. Big minus that would be. Okay, so that's our AI setup, obviously subject to testing, and I might put our chair somewhere near the front just for laughs and giggles. Once I've built everything up, I will just put something roughly in place. So if we armor up here, we might put the chair with him sticking his head out a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be really bad for survivability, but what the heck, just there we go. And we're going to have a, let's say a like that, and where's my, because obviously metal is extremely glass is a very extremely good armor protection, of course. There we go. So that will be our position for our guy when he's in the plane. We might even have him just having his head out. There we go. I'm not expecting him to spend much time in the plane, to be frankly honest, and I'm not even going to put a vehicle controller in there. He's not going to control the plane. This is just in case he should want to decide he wants to be, oops, no, he wants to have, skip on words right, in case he wants to just visit the plane and make sure everything is running okay. I think alloy beams behind, because this will be basically armor. There we go, and that's going to be about the limit to our height of the ship. Actually, those 4 beams will be our limit to our height. So yeah, he's there, but yeah, I'm not expecting him to stay there, to be frankly honest. This is going to be mainly an AI ship. Right, okay, one thing we're going to do is armor this AI. I hate the AI being taken out, because they do aim for it. So we are going to put some metal beams here, just to give a little bit more armor protection around the AI. Don't think we're going to need any control blocks, so actually we'll put some alloy in, put some metal blocks in here just in case this gun should go pop, and we'll put some metal blocks in there, and then a couple of metal beams. And final metal blocks. So it's a little heavy, but it's going to be protected all around, so it will survive in the fight for a little longer, because yeah, taking out the AI is just bloody annoying. Okay, next missile, next weapon system, right, center of the plane. Let's see, where's the wings going to be? The wings are going to be about on these 2 levels here, I'm guessing. Now what we're going to do is the next missile system is going to be some big missiles hanging possibly off this section here, and I have an idea of just they will drop and then fire, similar to like it does with modern planes. So we'll have this slightly nearer the back. So we'll put the mirror line on. There we go. See, I remembered it this time. Aren't I good? Right, so these are going to be fairly big. I say fairly big, they're not going to be massive, but they're not going to be small either, which is like sort of same thing really, doesn't it? You know. So we go there, we're going to put some blocks there, blah, blah, blah. So let's say it starts firing here. And then we have missile blocks, and we're going to need to make sure these are upside down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 block missile. Okay. Then we're going to have a 6-way and bring that up. So we have all the controllers inside. Might put one just there and then have the weapon controller inside. Right, let's put the weapon missile control. There we go, one missile control. We will need friend or foe on this. I'll put that just there because it is going to be an infrared missile. And the AI, local weapon controller, will just go on the inside here. Got to allow for we'll put it here, just at the rear or just in front. We'll put it just in front here. That should be fine. It's not going to be very well protected. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. And then we got the wireless receiver just here. There we go. Right, so this missile, let's see. Short range thruster, of course. We've got quite a few blocks here, so we could go for 2. A couple of fins, and then fuel tanks. That's 4 fuel tanks, which is going to get it, 700. That will get it a bit further, but I think we're going to need some more fins. And we'll put that in there, and we're going to need a 1 turn. So, right, first thruster will not fire for 3 seconds. So it'll drop out the plane, and then whoop, off we go. Second thruster actually starts firing at 23 seconds. This is making it a long range missile. Except, yeah, we haven't got, no, okay. We'll have the second one fire at 6 seconds. So it's not going to be that long, but it's going to be fast. 3 fins gives it quite a good turn rate. We are going to need, we've got the 1 turn. We are also going to need something like target prediction. So that's cutting us down. So that's got 2 there. Yeah. Okay, we're going to need, let's just start this at the front, or do I put another block on? Okay, I'm going to put another block on. I need to, it needs a bit of bang, otherwise there's no point in having it. So we need at least 2 systems here. So let's find, where's our infrared. Okay, so we're going to have explosive at the back. We don't have a proximity. Let's put the proximity there. I want 3 explosives on this. Proximity, explosive, and then 2 fragments. 1 fragment here, that's going to be our, if it hits, it's going to do some serious internal damage, and this is going to be our hit things on the outside, and the explosive will, yep, that's going to be 45 degrees. Same as the angle on that, and the explosives will do. So that's there. Now we do need a, do we go for proximity, or say it's going to have to hit head on? Yeah, we need proximity. Okay, proximity. There we go, and that puts our target. We do need the target prediction, and then we put the 1 turn there. Now that's reduced our range quite considerably. It's still going to be double. It's 6 tanks. So that's 3. That's still to be about 750. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. I'm just going to save that to test down here, so I can use it in a second. Whereas I'll just change that to test. This we go. Yep, caps up. Save as test. And then load it over onto the other side. Load test. Do test. Go. So make sure that's pulled everything over. 3 seconds, 6 seconds, everything else. Excellent. Right. So with test ranges, when we do a bit of before I do the combat test, I'll just follow the missiles, fire them, see how far they go, sort of thing. But I'm guessing this is going to be about 700, maybe 8, but 700, 800. This will be possibly 400, etc. It's only got the one. It's got 2 fuel tanks, but it's a lot lighter missile. So this won't be very fast, but it'll be a longer range. Now, as I say, the idea is, because they're the bottom here, they should just effectively, it'll just drop out effectively from the bottom, fall down a bit, and then suddenly fire off. That's the plan. Will it work? I have no freaking idea. Now, obviously, I can't put anything straight in the front there, as we found with that other one, but I think because it can fall out the bottom, we can put some blocks a little further ahead, so I'll try that out. We've got a 2-second arming delay. Now, they are aware that even if I change that 2 seconds to something longer, it is a bug that it's not saving it. So it doesn't actually, if I change that, it'll get wiped out as soon as I spawn in again. So there's no point in changing that at this time. Okay, what have we left with? I've got to sort out the hull a little bit, which will be in the next section. Engines to make this thing go zoom. So we will, I think we're going to need a little bit of length. Now, engine design here. Let's think this through. We've got 2 ways. We can make this a little bit longer here at the back. There we go. Right. We don't want to go too high. Now, I could make it a little bit more bulbous at the back. Let's go down here. Down, 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 down. Thank you. Right. I don't want to go above this level of 4 here, if I can help it. That level. Yeah. Which means on engine design, I can go with maybe a twin and go out. It's not going to be that efficient an engine. So if we put our engine block, got to think of where my ammo's going to go. Ammo, I might spread out a little bit, just put some ammo blocks in places. Let's put that there, and now some crankshafts. Also, how much power am I doing? Shields? No, I'm not going to shield this. Its main what's the right word? Enemy, as such, will be missiles. I'm going to make this fast. It's going to use speed to avoid cannons. You know, so that will be how it will avoid the cannons. It's just be so damn fast they won't be able to track it and hit it effectively. The missiles, it won't have a LAM system. The missiles will be a problem. Hey ho, that's life as a plane. We're using that exactly the thing. Missiles are a problem for planes. No 2 easy ways around that one. Lasers are always going to be a problem, and even smoke defences aren't a very good defence against lasers, because you'll be out of the smoke as soon as it fires. We might put a few around there, but we're not. From what I've seen, currently the White Flayers don't use lasers. They mainly use missiles and guns. So if I don't need lasers, I need to be able to work against the big, huge jet engine, which is, how much power does that take? It doesn't say. It doesn't say how much power it takes, which is a little annoying. I'm not sure. I'm allowing 100, and I'm going to need about 5. I'm looking at maybe about three, maybe 2 banks of 3 or 5. I need about 500 power, I reckon. And then plus a little bit extra, so 600 power in total. We'll see how much those engines take up. As I said, I can't think of how much it is. So let's go for a side-by-side configuration. Start with those. Now we're going to lose a little bit of space on this front part because of this controller here. And we can go one up on top as well, so that's good, and we'll put one there. Okay, now we'll put some superchargers in. When's got the most effect? 3, okay, we'll put them in here. Yeah, I'll put them in there as well. Let's just see how it's, and the rest will be the old engine fuel tanks. We've got a bit of room on the side there. That's cool. Cool. And we can have them just sticking out the top a little bit. That's not that too much. It's not ideal. And we have some in the centre here as well. There. Mustn't forget those ones. There we go. So how much energy is that giving us? 875. Cool. Okay, that's within the spec I was looking at. So we'll just put that there. That will just give us that final little bit of energy, hopefully. What's that output up to? 900. That is adequate. A little bit there. Anywhere missed? So that's our little. That's 3 high. So that's fairly low level. It's going to stick a little bit out the top when we start putting these blocks in here. Let's just put that one straight through, so it's done. There we go, and this one as well. Oh, that one can't go all the way through there. We will need this one. So we've got a lot of alloy blocks here. This is going to be an expensive ship, I'm thinking. Oh, that's there. A little bit of thing there. We'll have to sort that out in a little bit. It's because of the seat. Sorry, just have to even that out now while I'm looking at it, otherwise it will annoy me. So we do that there, thank God. And we may go start going down at that level. Yes, we'll go down at that level, but it means we can put some in here, and the rest will be alloy blocks, like alloy blocks. Excellent. Okay, I might put that out one more time and then start going down so it's level with here. Or we might have the front come down with a 2 and this come up with a 1 and then join it up. We'll see how that looks. And then where's our center point at the moment? Our center point is on this block here, which is good. So I'll be putting wings out on this block. Wing design, don't know yet. I'll have a think about that. So what I'm going to do now is do the time lapse. We've done all the weapon systems, the engines, the AI, all the primary bits are totally exposed chair, but I won't be sitting in this. I will sort out the wings and get it basically flying. The basic flying mechanics. I might just go through what I did to get it flying afterwards, come back and say, you know, what was required and what I did, etc. like that. We'll see. 2, 3, 4. Don't know yet at this second what it's going to take to make this bugger fly. As I say, that can sometimes be one of the biggest, not problems is the wrong word, but one of the biggest challenges with aircraft is making them fly straight, level, etc. It's fun, but a pain at times as well. We'll see how we do with that, and see if we can. What I'm looking for is fairly stable, plane, because obviously it needs to be relatively stable. We don't want a squirrel. If we had a squirrel, the gun would never fire because it'd be up and down, 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 never actually lock onto the target. But we don't want it too stable, because if it's too stable, if the enemy moves, it will slowly move over. So we want it stable in straight flight, then it will turn and then go straight again, and then turn and go straight. So I'm mostly going to go for good lateral yaw control. I think that's correct, yes. But not too much on the pitch. The pitch control I'm going to have relatively controlled, but have more on the yaw, so it can turn itself towards the target fairly quickly and then go straight, and then just goes up and down a little bit. So that's something we'll work on as far as control factors go. Okay, so from that point, I will see you in a while once I have built up the outside and got this little puppy flying. See you soon. Hello and welcome back. We have just about finished on this. If I just spawn it back in, here we should go, and yes, we have a successful water launch. So it launches itself from the water. It's fairly successful. Climb speed is good, 85, although strangely it climbs faster than the cruise speed, which goes down to about 60-70, which is still adequate. It took a little bit of balancing, but not too bad in the basic flight. It took a little bit more with the weapon systems. Okay, changes to the previously looked out view. I changed the missiles on the back to laser missiles. I was having problems with the infrared when they were dropping out, and you'll see the way they were dropping out. It's quite nice actually, but they just would not lock on with the infrared. So I went for lasers, which is not a problem anyway, because that made them a bit bigger, warheads, so they've now got nice good 4 warheads in there, so they've got quite a good punch when they hit. I doubled up on the missiles on the front. We didn't have enough punch against flying targets to do serious damage. The gun, again, had a few issues with the gun with the firing arc. So I had to make the firing arc larger. So it's now got a 45-degree firing arc. But to stop, the failsafe was also just causing great problems. So instead of having a failsafe to detect it, what I've done is I've moved the motor barrels to the end of the barrel. This means that if these, oops, I won't go into there. If the barrel gets damaged, the actual firing arc reduces enough that it actually can fire out with this arc or not fire at all. So it does the job in a different way, but it's successful. The gun's reasonable, it does damage. Other one, I put a rear firing missile because there's some aircraft which are quite fast and they get behind me a little bit. And yeah, so we increased that one. So a little bit of testing. Let's just do a little bit of testing. First of all, let's go against a standard Vanguard, just so you can see the ground ability of this ship. So it can fire. That one's already fired. It can shoot against ground targets. And let me just check on that. I don't think I set. Whoops. Didn't want to do that. And you're missing it all now, so it's firing as soon as it's got a reasonable accuracy, it will fire in with the gun. You can see how they topple out. I quite like that, but that toppling has a problem with the infrared, but it works quite well with the lasers. As you can see, the speed is up to about 78-80 in the dive, and the lasers are still painting that, so the 2 missiles that it fired behind come in and attack it, and the ones that it dropped behind it will also turn around and take that target. So that's good. You know, that's they work as fairly big hitters against a ground target, which is quite good. We did build this mainly to go against aerial targets, so we'll just try against that in a second. So that's, as you can see, the gun is working, giving the area a nice spray. It is an area effect weapon, those missiles, rather than being effective, highly accurate. The laser guided missiles is how it would mainly attack ground targets. Let's put it against some ships, some aircraft. So we'll go against the White Flayers because that's where we were aiming it for. Now I still have a problem with the arrow. The arrow is amazing, very fast, as you can see, top speed 70. So that is still gives me a few problems. So, and it's also a 30-point ship, so I might have to work on something like this. But the other ones are possibilities. So we'll go for a Mark III. Actually, in fact, let's go for a different one. Go for a Mark III, which is top speed of 18, and this Mark II, which is a top speed of 56. So it's close. The other two, yeah. We'll go for a Mark II, 56, and let's go for a slightly larger ship. Let's go for Spike. So we've got 2 aircraft now launching against us, and we're going to see how they do against these 2 craft. So it should turn around, and then he'll use his missile cannon to, once he can get a good lock. As you can see, the lasers are also locked. Guns are going in, and the 2 front missiles are firing. I don't think he'd actually reloaded properly. Ammo reload potentially needs a little bit of work. It's not reloading the missiles quite quick enough. I didn't want to load this up with ammo barrels. As you can see, the rear firing missiles are quite handy. If we go behind a missile and it starts to try and chase us, we've just got a nice little rear firing infrared missile which will quickly fire out and give a good attack. It's coming back in. The cannon is quite happily firing here, getting some good damage. We actually outrun most missiles on this speed. Unless they've got multiple thrusters, we will actually outrun them quite often, which is good. I think this particular, whoops, ship. Let's go into this mode. There we go. We'll follow the enemy this time. He's got quite a bit of armour by the looks of him here. He has got a good missile barrage, but they are fairly close range. As I say, we tend to avoid them. He is taking damage slowly and going down. So if some of our missiles not quite reaching him, but come on guys, where's the other one? I think the other one's already been taken out. So we took the other one out in one of our passes, but this one's quite heavy thing. We are hitting it every time, so we're constantly doing a little bit of damage on him. We'll just bring that up. I'll use the Q menu if I can. No, that's not the one I wanted. I want it on him. Info. So we're doing a little bit of damage on him each time, and he's certainly not able to attack us. So we're just steadily wearing him down. He's quite a large vessel. Our laser guided bombs aren't enough to attack him really, but yeah, we're doing a little bit of damage every time we pass, so happy about that. This is again not going to be a solitary fighter. This would be intended to work in a fleet, a team. The intention is, as he has done there, he has taken out an engine, slows him down so that missile systems from slower vessels, surface vessels, will have a chance at hitting him. So, as I say, you know, or possibly even one of the slightly slower but harder hitting aircraft will have a chance at hitting him a little bit better. So yeah, I think it's successful. There is a few changes I would make on this. Let me go and have a look. Let's just go to my character. I'd like to make it a little faster, so I may build a second version which is using have a look at possibly using a custom jet engine. So if you can see, there's quite a few large engines. We've got a fair bit of power, so we can see if we can do something with a large jet engine. One minor change I've just remembered to do here, hopefully if I can remember. Oops, that's not the one I wanted. It's the firing distance on here, I think, is way out, because it's only got a very short firing distance. We'll put another fuel tank in there, actually. There we go. Should help it. You know me, maybe you don't, but I have to do it while I'm thinking about it. Yes, I didn't put a limit on that, so let's put about a 600 limit on that. About that. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, we'll just save that. Save that vehicle. So, hopefully, that's another one for the workshop. Hopefully, it's given an insight into the aircraft. Couple of bits on aircraft. You need these ailerons for the roll. Get them as close to the rear as possible. Well, sorry, let's start again. Get them to the rear of the wings, not too many. If you put too many, you'll find that your ship will roll too quickly. You've got to get a balance between rolling enough to get enough roll in, should we say, performance on it, and it rolling so quickly it goes out of control. Same with the tail fins. I've got quite a lot of tail here, more than I would like. Most of that is because for that getting out of the water effect, I need quite a bit of downward thrust to be able to point it upwards. That's also inducing some of this oscillation in the vertical for it. So I would like to not have as many in a normal ship, but you have to balance it. Again, don't add too many in one go. Add a few, see how it performs, then add a few more. It doesn't really matter where they are. If I go into here, if I go into the build menu and we press the thing, you can see how they're affecting the ship. So you can see how much force is being applied by each of the elements. So, you know, get that about right. Otherwise, you know, again, it will start to porpoise too much. this level at the moment, it's got a bit of porpoising. I don't like this level, and are we going to crash into that, or have we just finally succeeded? It may have got damaged enough. It's actually going into space. So yeah, we have worn away at that large ship eventually, and we've got out of it unscathed. Just take that view off because it is a thing. The other side is wing. The wing really only works upwards, and it likes to be, don't move it too far away from the centre of gravity. Now in real aircraft, the balance point for the centre of mass, the wing would be just in front of it, generally, when you total the total lift, which means our total lift's here and our centre of mass is about here. So you don't want to be too far. If you put it too near the back, you'll find your ship will not lift off, and it will also be a bit nose heavy. So better to just have the wings slightly forward of them. Finally, you can see there's quite a weird setup for the engines here, and then there again I've had to balance it to get a slight upward lift. Now ideally you would want to get all of your engines on the center line. Oops, got taken out there a little bit. For various reasons I need a little bit of extra upward force to get out of the water again, so I've moved the center ones down, but I've had to balance it again with some smaller ones at the top. So you've got two choices: balance it here or reduce the output of the engines. I like putting extra jet engines in because I don't want to reduce the speed any more than I have to. So that's my bits about aircraft. It's not a very traditional shape of aircraft, I've got to say this on this here, so that doesn't help in some aspects of this plane, but luckily the physics in this game isn't that, what should we say, problematic. You know, it doesn't cause that many problems, so we can go for unusual shapes. I mean, look at some of the ships that are out there. But hey, I think this is successful. Hope you enjoyed watching me build it. Any comments, please leave them below. Click that like button if you like the basic idea of what I do with my and then you've got some missiles there, like what I do with these builds. Any suggestions, put in the comments, of course. But until the next campaign video, have fun.